There is a quiet, exhausting state of mind where nothing ever stays on the surface. You enter a room, and before anyone even greets you, your brain has already completed an invisible diagnostic. A subtle shift in body posture, a fraction of a second delay before a smile appears. A sentence delivered in a tone that sounds pleasant, but carries an underlying friction. To an observer, this looks like an enviable talent, an instinct for reading human behavior. But inside the mind of the person experiencing it, this relentless clarity feels far more like an unavoidable sentence. The internal engine never idles. You carry those micro moments home, spending hours replaying a brief pause, dissecting a neutral glance, and mapping out complex psychological narratives from signals that everyone else missed entirely. For decades, classic psychology treated extreme sensitivity as a simple personality trait. But modern cognitive neuroscience paints a much deeper picture. Research into sensory processing mechanisms reveals that roughly 1 in 5 individuals possesses a nervous system built like an ultra-fine mesh, capturing daily environmental data in high definition. Yet for a vast majority, this hyper-awareness is not a trait they inherited at birth. It is a survival mechanism forged through early environment. Neuroimaging studies demonstrate that individuals raised in unpredictable or emotionally turbulent households develop a hypervigilant amygdala, the region responsible for identifying environmental threats. When the emotional climate of a home changes without warning, a child adapts out of necessity. They learn to interpret subtle auditory cues, the distinct rhythm of footsteps in the hallway or the specific resonance of a closing door, to calculate whether safety or conflict is approaching. What begins as an adaptive survival protocol eventually hardwires into the adult brain. The protective architecture becomes a permanent lens through which all reality is filtered. In adulthood, this high-alert processing keeps the brain's default mode network, the system governing self-reflection and internal monologue, in continuous overdrive. A routine message from a colleague doesn't register as simple communication. It triggers a rapid sequence of predictive simulations. This internal lens doesn't just scan the surrounding room. It turns inward, creating an intense, uninterrupted cycle of metacognition. You don't simply experience anger, sadness, or joy. You continuously observe, critique, and evaluate the emotion as it unfolds. It is like trying to navigate a conversation while staring constantly at your own reflection, monitoring every gesture, yet feeling entirely disconnected from the present moment. Over time, this heightened perception strips away what psychologists call relational innocence. As your capacity for cognitive empathy increases, you begin to see directly through the performative layers of social interaction. You recognize that praise is sometimes an instrument for control, and that bravado often masks profound insecurity. While this grants exceptional insight, it makes genuine trust a deliberate, guarded choice. Furthermore, a hyperactive mirror neuron system means you don't merely perceive the distress of those around you. Your nervous system actively absorbs it. You become an unwitting emotional sponge, quietly stabilizing the temperature of every room you enter, while steadily draining your own reserves. The core tragedy of over-awareness is its subtle trade-off. In a perpetual effort to predict and guard against future emotional disruption, you step completely out of your current reality. Mitigation replaces authentic experience. The path forward is not to force the mind into numbness or pretend not to see what is obvious. It is learning the practice of cognitive boundary setting, the conscious realization that observing a signal does not require you to absorb it or act upon it. When you relinquish the burden of decoding every hidden variable around you, the internal spotlight shifts. The sharp, piercing beam that constantly exposes every micro-flaw softens into a quiet, steady awareness. One that allows you to understand the complexity of human nature without being consumed by it.